Very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Friday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Tonight on the show, we'll take a look at the Golden Eaglets, their quest to get the ticket to qualify for the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. And it all starts at the AFCON Under-17. We'll also talk about the English Premier League. We'll talk about Anthony Joshua is in the news. We'll talk about him. And, of course, we'll also talk about the big man, five-time Ballon d'Or winner Cristiano Ronaldo is in the news. We'll talk about that. And as usual on the show, I'm not alone. My colleague, my partner, Austin Okonakman, is suited and ready. And, of course, we'll be taking this trip together across the money-spinning world of sports. Greetings to you, Austin. Feels good to be back again to take this trip with you across the money-spinning world of sports.
It's good to see you, Yemi. Sporty greetings to you. And, of course, special shout-out to everyone joining us from different parts of the world. Still an action-packed world of sports. Let's also mention that there's a big London derby tonight in the English Premier League. Chelsea hosting Fulham. Fulham, they're seventh on the log. We all know the story of the Blues struggling. Now they broke the bank in January to bring in new players. In fact, made a record signing for Enzo Fernandez. And now Graham Potter must find a way to show that he's a good Potter because he's been given the clay now, Yemi. He must mold something good out of this Chelsea team.
Yeah, obviously, he must find a way, or he's going to be shown the door. I mean, you kind of have all this kind of players and not be able to do something with it. I mean, you definitely have to do something. When we get to that point, we'll talk about it. A lot of interesting things to talk about. Let me go across and, of course, bring in our partner in the Lagos studio to join in all of these discussions that we're having on the show. All right, Shegun Vincent joins us now as we go on with the show. Shegun, greetings to you. I should say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right.
Happy New Year. It's good to be back here. It's good to have you on there. Yeah, you're looking a little different. I don't know.
Okay.
There's something else, it's good to have Austin on the show. I think I've wished Austin Happy New Year, so I don't need to wish him Happy New Year again. But let's sit back and let's enjoy the show.
All right. Okay, so let me just piggyback to Austin and talk about the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. We've not gotten there. We have the hurdle, of course, which is the Africa Under-17 AFCON now. But the Golden Eaglets know they are foes now. So, I mean, it sets the tone. But you and I have always talked about being happy that a person like Nduka Ugbade is at the helm, is, in charge of things, and hopefully his experience once again comes to bear.
It does, not just his experience as a coach, his experience as a former player at that level. Remember, they made record at the under-16 level, and Nduka Ugbade was part of that team. And he grew with that mentality. I remember the pain he had for not, being picked for, I think, the World Cup. He would have been the first player to pass through, through from the age grade to the senior level. But we're glad we have him now coaching the under-17 team. He's one man who has always told us that football is scientific and can be scientific in Nigeria. So with the Golden Eaglets, I have some sort of confidence in Coach Nduka Ugbade and his technical crew, but I'm the guy who preaches no pressure at this age grade level. But for this qualifiers, Yemi, where you're, grouped alongside Zambia, Morocco, and South Africa. For Morocco and South Africa, we know the amount of work they are doing, particularly at that level. We know the investment they have done to that level. So now it will go beyond talent. Because at this level, we just, the talent is raw. We have the talent. We can go out there, blah, blah, blah. No. Football is gradually getting out of the point where you just think that talent can do it for you. The Golden Eaglets, fantastic at the World Cup. They have given us, at that level, we have seen players grow up to, the senior team, and they're still doing well. Case in point, 2015, Victor Osimhen. Look at him now, blazing the trail, and everyone is talking about him. That's a good level to discover talent. And that's why we want to urge the leadership of football administration in Nigeria. Start looking at those things that goes beyond just entering the pitch and kick football. So for these qualifiers, let's wish them all the best. I mean, we can't come now and say, oh, is it not Zambia? They will beat Zambia. Is it not Morocco? They will beat Morocco. Is it not South Africa? No. At this level, everyone is growing. It's all about development. So it's your level of preparation and the approach and attitude that you take into that competition that will give you the win.
Yeah, I agree. And let me bring Shego into this. I want to say a few things then. Of course, we'll show our viewers once again, just like Austin has said, the teams that the Golden Eaglets will face. But my worry now, he has roughly maybe about 2 months, if you look at the gap before the first ball is kicked. So what do you do now? Do you stick with the boys that you've been using, or you bring in new boys? I mean, I really don't understand the dynamics of age grade competitions in that regard. What people just want to hear is, oh, they've picked the ticket and all that. But all of these things are very important factors that have to be taken into consideration.
Yeah, as the players are already there, they want to bring in new players. Those are the dynamics around age competition. Also, they call succession planning, because it's not all about, for age grade competition, it's not all about them winning the competition, which is something that we want to win, because the last time we won something like this was 16 years ago, was in 2007. So it's something that we want to win. Now, as Nigerians and as enthusiasts, like Austin, anything involving Nigeria, he's always very adamant that we're going to win, we're going to win, we're going to win. And I also key into that anointing. But you need to understand that in the past, the planning from the succession planning from the unders to the national team has been a bit skanky here and there. So it's something that has to work on. Of course, this is African competition. This is an area we can show forth the African soil, or how the kind of talent that we have, how we can do well, and all of that. So it's a good thing. Who will play is not down to the coach. Uluka is a fantastic coach. Of course, he has done that in the unders and under 16. So, like Austin said, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I want to see how we'll progress through this competition. I want to see how we're going to play our 3 opponents, Zambia, and all of that. So let's see our plans are for that.
Let me jump ahead of myself. 4 slots available, 4 tickets available. Is it hard to bet against the Golden Eaglets to pick one? Is it hard?
On a good day, it's not hard. On a good day. The Golden Eaglets, we have a good history when it comes to the age grade competition. On a good day, but every day might not be a good day. So that's where the issue will be. And
if your opponents catch you on a bad day, then that's a problem. All right, I'm very sure some of our viewers are wondering, okay, what are these guys talking about? What have they been saying? Austin's talking about some teams. I mean, what are the teams? The draws were concluded, I think, 2 days ago. And so, just to freshen things up, let's just quickly show you the teams that the Golden Eaglets will come up against, and we'll be able to talk about them. Austin has, highlighted some of this. I'm very sure it's going to come up on the screen very soon. You're going to see that Nigeria has drawn in Group B, and in Group B will be coming up against the likes of Morocco, South, and there you go, right there on your screen. Let me quickly, take a stab at some of these things and talk about it. Shego, quickly, let's do this. It's April 30, May 3rd, and May 6th. First game, very important.
Yeah.
But the worry with age grade is you don't know them, they don't know you. Yeah. But it's very important that we win our first game.
Yeah, very important, and what the breakthrough to start the competition. I remember one of the unders that we played towards late last year. Was it the one on the continent? That we won that. I think we lost the first game, and then we won the second game, and they won the third game. So I think that it takes the pressure away off us if we win the first game. And the first game is very important. It's what happened to Argentina too. They didn't win the first game, so they put themselves under a lot of pressure to win the second game and to win the third game. So when you win the first game, momentum is going on, the momentum is there, the chemistry is there, the confidence is high. You win the first game, win the second game, and then you can take a breather and plan for the knockout competition, which is something we have to work on.
All right. Let me get back to Austin. I think we're done with this conversation. Austin, I asked Shego if it's really hard to bet against the Golden Eaglets, and I like what he said. On a good day, it's hard to bet against the Golden Eaglets, but every day is not a good day.
Every day isn't a good day, particularly at this under 17 level. Let's also emphasize that this is the first time it will be taking the 12-team format, and for CAF, the objective is to give more playing time to football at that level. So big ups to the Confederation of African Football for keeping to that promise. So if you take a look at it, we've got 3 former African champions at this level playing in one group. So you just can't jump up and say it's going the way of the Golden Eaglets. That's why I say it comes down to preparation and the mentality that these young lads take into it. For us at Channels TV, when we were promoting the Channels International Kids Cup, we were having this under 17 level at the back of our minds to teach them beyond football, give them proper life values that will equip them towards being total men when they go out there to, represent the country. And education plays a big role. So yeah, I mean, we will not just come up and say it's Zambia, Morocco, and South Africa, and then we'll push them apart. No, particularly when we know some of the things that we're supposed to be doing back home that we're not doing. And you know us, we're so good we've done well in this competition. So why can't we just go there and do the same thing? That's what we used to say for the dream team until we started missing out of the Olympics. Now we have not done anything to change that approach. It's gradually coming down. It will get to the under 20, and then it will get to the Golden Eaglets if we don't change the approach, because football is changing. So it's beyond talent. You see the Super Falcons struggling now in Africa. So for me, the time is already gone. The competition is almost here. So the NFF should invest in programs that will let these boys understand that they are on a long-term journey. So whatever happens at this competition, NFF don't abandon them. They're a long-term project. And let's see where we can take it from there, Yemi.
All right, let's see where we can take from there. That's the important message for all of us in all of this. Also, let's move on the show, do all the honors. Let's talk about the Nigeria Professional Football League, and we have to do all of this, wrap it up before we go on a break. Let's look at the interesting things ahead of us. So guide us through match day 6. Our producer wants us to quickly go through this before Austin gives us his take. Match day 6, we start with Group A. You have Benel Insurance up against Gombe United. Eyimba, the Aba Elephants, will be up against El Kanemi Warriors. And, of course, Shooting Stars will be up against Nasarawa United. All of these matches in Group A. Okay? So you have Aqua United as well up against Remo Stars. Plateau United up against Kwara United. These are the fixtures to look forward to in Group A. I'm going to bring Shegun into it as well. But let me quickly go to Austin. We'll digest Group A before we go to Group B. And first, I want to give you credit for not allowing distance to be an issue. You're always following up with what is happening on the domestic scene, right. and that's good to know. So, your thoughts as we, look ahead to week 6 in Group A.
I mean, it's interesting, with everything we've seen from match day 5, it tells you that we're going to have a more explosive match day 6. What a story in that Group A. Bendel Insurance. Is there any way you cannot talk about this team at the moment? They are on fire. 5 games, 5 wins, and they are not stopping. That's the message that they're saying, that they want to sustain the momentum. They want to make it out of that group. In fact, top that group. And for Bendel Insurance, if you see the way they stayed focused in their last game, not from the last game, this game was seen against Remo Stars, beating a disciplined, determined, organized Remo Stars 3-0 in Benin, and then went away to a ground in Maiduguri where teams can fall against El Kanemi Warriors, and went on to pick a vital 1-0 win. Bendel Insurance at the moment, the team to look out for, and in that game against Gombe United, it will be very, very difficult to write them off. Gombe United, they were decent from last season. I remember they were stopping teams and then getting points on the road when we didn't believe. I know with this average season, they're just trying to get into it. But shout out to Bendel Insurance. Eyimba will hope to keep their good form going also when they take on the struggling El Kanemi Warriors. Now, El Kanemi Warriors, they will just get into this one and see what football can give to them, because at the moment, Eyimba, they are singing Zobu, Eyimba. Shooting Stars lost their last game against Nasarawa United. They will be hoping to bounce back and put their season back on track. Aqua United won their last game. They'll be meeting Remo Stars. That's a very tricky one. Remo Stars, I think, beat Aqua United last season in Uyo. Aqua United would want to ensure that that doesn't repeat itself again. Already they've lost in Uyo to Bendel Insurance at the start of the season. They wouldn't want that play. To United, a team that was so decent last season, runners-up, they will be taking on Kwara United, another team that was, decent, but they were swept aside in their last match. So let's see who wants this one more. We'll get it. In Group B, I want to see what Sunshine Stars can do against Bayelsa United. Bayelsa United already a bit dented for the indiscipline that they showed in the league, and then the IMC came hard on them, deducted points for the misconduct and now providing security. And Yemi, we want to emphasize again that that is a good one. Yesterday on the show, I said, when you attack an official of football that is appointed by the government, it should be treated as something very serious. Somebody should go to jail, because if you attack that guy that has been appointed to oversee a football match, you can also attack spectators who have come there. And I put emphasis on someone who has come to support our league football. So let's see. Dakada lost their last match. They will be hosting Abia Warriors. That's another good one to look out for in Group B. And also Doma United, Rivers United. Can Rivers United keep their good form going? Can they go away, beat Doma, and keep that title hopes alive of defending it? We'll wait to see.
All right, we'll wait to see. All right, for the sake of our viewers and of course Shegun as well, we would love to see those things again. We'll bring it back to Group A so that it can have. Okay, let's have a Group B, since we already have Group B on the screen. But I'm very sure our producer will ensure that we see Group A so that Shegun can take a stab at it. Okay, all right, they've heard me, and that's very good. All right, Shegun, you have on your screen interesting fixtures: Bendel Insurance, Gombe United. Just what do you think we'll see in Group A?
I think Bendel Insurance has been the surprise of the tournament. It just came from relegation, if I'm not mistaken, and then they are top of the slog. I think they defeated Remo Stars. Remo Stars were they were the team as at last week who are yet to concede a goal. So and then Bendel Insurance defeated them. So they are showing for their mark early on. But sometimes in the MPFL we are seeing things start on an early mark and then all of a sudden they fade out. Just like some teams in the Premier League anyway. But I want to see how they play Gombe United, and they are on home soil. Hopefully they get a win. Enyimba Academy, Enyimba household, but then the last few seasons have been a bit rocky for them. Let's share Panzer for them. Shooting Stars, Nassau United, that's another tricky fixture. Nassau United, we saw what happened to them last week. So let's see how that game goes. I want to see Shooting Stars come all out, blazing guns in that game.
You also have Aqua United up against Remo Stars, Plateau United up against Kwara United. Those are also fixtures.
Yes, I'm hoping that Remo Stars get back to the well on the winning split in that game against Aqua United. Remo Stars are doing a tremendous job apart from last week that they lost. So let's say I pounds out for Remo Stars.
Okay, all right. Since we're done with let's go to B now. I'm very sure we'll have it on the screen, and there you have it. Shegun, your thoughts?
Sunshine Stars by United. It's a funny situation. I think I'll go with Sunshine Stars. Bayelsa United too, their team around the block, their ways. And that's Tornado Lobby Stars. Dakota United, Dakota FC. This is another funny feature between them and Abia Warriors.
You're torn. You're finding it hard to.
Yes, although Abia Warriors on the good, a better side. Dakota, they've had that relegation battle at some point in time, but I think I'll go for Abia Warriors in that game. All
right, Wiki Tourist, Rangers, Doma United, Rivers United, quickly.
Wiki Tourists. That's another funny team again. So I have my fingers crossed in that fixture.
Okay, that's the fingers crossed. All right, I'm sitting on the fence as I usually do on the show. Let me quickly go back to Austin. We have probably less than a minute before we go on a break. Do you think we'll see any surprises? We've seen some good results. A lot of people are saying maybe because it's a bridge. If we want to stretch, are we likely going to see away wins guests are talking? Do you think we'll see a few of them this weekend?
Very possible. If Aqua United blinks against Remo Stars, they will be stunned, because Remo Stars at the moment, they've tested continental football and they would want to keep it going. And we've talked about the organization of the club, so they will want to see how they can, repeat what they did last season. So Aqua United, Remo Stars, we can see a surprise in that one. Can El Kanemi do anything to Enyimba? I doubt it, you know. If Kwara United beats Plateau United, it's not an upset. It's just a good away win because Kwara United in the last 2 seasons, they've shown us that they can play football. They've shown us that they can be consistent. They've shown us that they can compete at the highest level. And don't forget, they were also on the continent competing in the CAF Confederation Cup. So that's a club with some, level of maturity. So they can stun Plateau United. I strongly believe they can do that. Away win for sure. Rivers United can beat Doma, and if Doma wins, then it's an upset, So we're looking forward to that one also. Maybe Abia Warriors Dakada. Yeah, we can also see because Dakada, they seem to be wounded at the moment, and I think they don't understand the abridged season vibes, and so they are struggling. So yeah, Abia Warriors, what they are known for, a team that is always adventurous, control the offensive so well, control the ball in open play. They can actually go to Uyo and then get a result out of that one. Wait and see.
All right, that's interesting. Okay, we need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll cross over to where Austin is. I'll be talking about things happening from his end. Let's go on that break. We'll come back for more on Sports Tonight. All right, so let's travel abroad now and, of course, talk about the English Premier League. And, of course, our man, Osno Konakman, is right there. Makes the job really very easy. We'll talk about the English Premier League and talk about the things happening. Of course, off camera, I was chatting with Shegu. A lot of things, a lot of vibes on the streets about the English Premier League. Very, very interesting times. All right. So let's get back to it. Austin is still with us. And I don't know if the word on the street here is the same as the word on the street in the United Kingdom. But
Tell me.
Graham Potter had better win something, or he will be shown the door.
He needs to win something. In fact, right now, 24 minutes already played in that game against Fulham, and it's still goalless. At the start of before kickoff, the lineup, Enzo Fernandez was standing beside Modric. I mean, if you put the money, Chelsea, doled out to sign those two players is almost the budget of some countries in the world. Modric for about 8.5 million pounds. Enzo Fernandez, almost 108 million pounds. There's no way, no excuses. Potter's got no hiding place again. He just needs to find a way. They're dominating the game, but it's still goalless. And don't forget, this is a derby where Fulham, that has been pretty decent this season, if you underrate them, they might just shock you. Look, I'm sure they've told Potter, if you don't win tonight, forget about it. In fact, don't go and address the players. Just from the dugout, just find your way to your car and go home, because I'm just trying to understand how they're going to tolerate after, spending the sort of money that they spent. So Chelsea still looking for the first goal in that game against Fulham. Record signing, Fernandes on the pitch, Modric on the pitch, the top Chelsea players playing, but it's still goalless, and that's football for you. And when the pressure starts coming, to get to the players, to get to the coaching crew, but all the board of Chelsea wants, they just want to get back to winning ways.
All right, take us through the fixtures, and of course, Shegu is with us, so we'll probably throw in a question or two for him, but the fixtures.
Yeah, big day in the English Premier League tomorrow and Sunday, so the weekend were packed. Important game for the Gunners when they travel to Goodison Park to play Everton. Now, Goodison Park, lately, teams go there and then they get a win. But now we should die on board, and the mentality is changing. Arsenal needs to keep winning to keep their title hopes alive and then push Manchester City away because Manchester City also has got a tricky tie this season. So Aston Villa will host Leicester City. Brentford will take on Southampton. Brighton will take on AFC Bournemouth. This is the sort of game that you will now see a shocker. But when Brighton sees the big teams, Yemi and Shegu, what happens. They don't respect those big teams. Manchester United and Eric Ten Hag will hope to keep their, good form going in the league when they take on Crystal Palace. Wolverhampton Wanderers will host Liverpool. Newcastle United will take on West Ham United. That's another big game that we're looking for right here in the English Premier League. And then on Sunday, the one I really want to see, Tottenham Hotspur taking on Manchester City at White Hart Lane. A lot of pundits have been listening to them. They believe that Antonio Conte's team can do something in this one and all of that. And I'm sure Arsenal fans, for the first time, I just be rooting for Tottenham. I mean, that's what am I speaking your mind? Because they're the big rivals, but at this point, anything to push Manchester City off Arsenal's back is all the Gunners will want. But first, they need to keep the pressure going on Manchester City by beating Everton on Saturday. So we're looking forward to that one.
I agree with you. Let's bring Segun into this as we go on. Segun, Sean Dyche now in the dugout for Everton. It means that it's no freebies. Freebies has come to an end.
Yeah, no more promo.
No more promo. This guy's going to keep it tight. And you can see the fixtures. But I want you to really talk about what you think. And he's been in charge of his first training. Yeah. And then he's facing the league leaders. What do you think Sean Dyche can bring to that Everton side?
If you know Sean Dyche very well, was in Bournemouth for a year. He went to Burnley. And then he had these issues with Burnley. Got sacked. And then he's now in Everton now. One thing we know about him is that he's the English version of Mourinho. You know, rock solid, strong in the air, win the second balls, win the duels.
He doesn't concede.
Ensure he doesn't concede goals.
And use that as a platform to win.
And there's one thing about having a new manager. A new manager brings some form of new air, new spirit, and all of that. Even though some people say it's IGG, Inchagagra, or like when you're in school,
players wanting to
impress. That also you know, that time, that period that you. So Arsenal are going to have to dig deep to defeat this Everton side, and Everton at home. The Arsenal have to come all out, and Arsenal they have the taller players. They're going to probably Everton are going to send a lot of balls in the box. So Arsenal have to defend with all their lives with the area battles.
Quickly, let me give you 30 more seconds to do this quickly. You've talked about Arsenal, so let's go there. Obviously, Thomas Partey won't be playing this game.
Yeah.
And it looks like, from the comments of Mikel Arteta,
yes,
Jorginho might just be walking straight into this. Do you think, a lot of people have complained about the tempo, like slows down the game, maybe 1v1 is not as strong as Thomas Partey and all that. What do you think a player like Jorginho will bring to an Arsenal team that needs to keep winning?
For every player, they have their positives and negatives. Of course, he has won before, he's a winner, he has won Europe, he has won the Champions League, he hasn't won the league before, but he's coming in with some form of win mentality, coming to orchestrate the clay, Arsenal play, passing football, very swift flowing play, side-to-side passes, so he's going to come up with a bit of that. But on the contrary, he's not as mobile as he was before when he was younger, he doesn't have that intensity anymore.
So have the legs.
And he cannot defend large spaces. So, and the Arsenal players have sent a lot of body forward. So, Arsenal might be susceptible to counter-attacks. And his best games was when he played in Italy, in Napoli, when he played with Fabian Ruiz, was a workaholic. So, for Arsenal now, Arsenal have to find somebody who can be a workaholic to play, to get the best out of him. Even in Chelsea, he played with Kante at some point. He played with Kovacic, which they were all workaholics. And I like the signing, but I felt like Arsenal had gone for a younger player. Although it comes with the mentality, the win mentality, short passes, sick passes.
He's going to be a leader in the dressing room.
He's going to be a leader in the dressing room too.
All right, let's listen to the Arsenal manager, Mikel Arteta, talking about the new signing, Jorginho. Let's also hear him talking about Gabriel Martinelli signing a new contract. Then, of course, we'll talk some more on the things happening in the English Premier League.
We knew that in this market you have to adapt and you have to be flexible and you have to be ready for inconvenience. We had a big one, obviously, with the latest news on most injuries, and we needed a player in that position. It's a player that I always admire, a great character, someone is going to bring leadership and quality in the position, and is going to help the team a lot. I think in all departments, to be fair, and when you ask him, he can develop physically, he can develop mentally, he can develop in terms of consistency, he can develop defensively, he can develop in the final third, in the spaces that he occupies. His numbers can be improved, and he's so willing. That's the best thing about Gavi. Part of the plan, obviously, is to extend the contracts of our biggest talents at the club and commit them for the future, and we are trying to do that. And we have started with Gavi, which is good news.
And the others?
And the others will be done whenever we can. We have to agree on that. Obviously, they have tried to accommodate the right character in the circumstance that the club is. I think what Sean and the coaching staff did at Burnley speak for himself. With the limited resources that they had, they got incredible results very consistently in this very tough league. I like a lot the character, his presence, and the clarity that he brings in his team. So hopefully after tomorrow, it will be a great fit for Everton.
All right, so that's the Arsenal manager, Mikel Arteta. Speaking on, a lot of things there, most especially the new signing, Jorginho, and of course the direction he wants the club to go. All right, of course, we're still on the matter, talking about the English Premier League and, of course, all the things happening around it. All right, so you still have some of the games to talk about, but let me just quickly get back to Austin and get Austin's thoughts on some of these things. And I don't know, ask Shegun. I don't know, I know we don't have much time. We're probably less than 6 minutes to go, but that game, you talked about it already, it's very important for Arsenal to win that game before they start looking at what happens between City and Tottenham. But a manager like Sean Dyche, who knows how to lock shop, how easy will it be for Arsenal to get the maximum points they need in that game?
It will be a very difficult game for the Gunners, and it's one that they will need to show character. It's one they will need to show leadership. They're on top of the league table with 5 points. Manchester City just behind them, and with Manchester City and Pep Guardiola, when they want to get that win, they will. Now, going to Goodison Park, they're playing a different Everton team because you know how it is. When a coach leaves and a new coach comes in, the players want to impress. They want to play football differently so that they can win the favor of the coach, And so Everton will come out all guns blazing, but Arsenal understanding the mission and with the way they've played this season, look at Mikel Arteta smiling. We don't get to see Arsenal at this stage having press conferences and then everyone is happy and smiling. Even you, me, I can tell you're happy. My Arsenal friends are happy. These are good times, but they must not blow it. And that's why they must show character. Right here in England, football fans believe that the signing of Jorginho is good for the team. It will bring some balance. It comes with a lot of experience. He's also a good leader. I think the penalty issues are also sorted, and now if Xhaka is missing, you have somebody who is reliable, that can step in. If Elneny is not around, no problem. If something goes wrong with Partey, you have somebody who can play maybe with some of the other guys and bring some balance. So it's a good one for the Gunners, but they need to keep their consistency going. For instance, they still rule that game against Newcastle when you get opportunities to kill games off, particularly when you are enjoying a good run of form, you should take it. That's what they must do against Everton. Now they're out of the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, eyes on the prize, and it's for the English Premier League. So they must prove that this is an opportunity that they cannot afford, to lose. And tomorrow's game against Everton will be a good test of character for the Gunners.
Yeah, I agree. Shegun, quick one on the flip side, for those who are following all of the flip side would be what happens between City and, talking about Manchester City and Tottenham. He talked about Antonio, I also talked about Antonio Conte. Unfortunately, Antonio Conte is not going to be there. He's just had surgery and all that. So how big of a miss will Conte be? They're still going to obviously use his tactics, but
it's going to be like, it's going to be like, how he knows how to develop the heat. It's what happened against Chelsea in the first leg, that 2-2. He has this, he's a great actor, let me put it that way. He has his energy and all of that, so he won't be. And Spurs are on the drilling side now. They are having lots and lots of issues. It seems as if better insurance are better than them. So I want to see how Spurs are going to play with that. But I'm very sure I'm going to probably give them like 3-0 or something like that. Because,
okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's quickly move on. We're pressed for time, so let's just move on. Of course, Manchester United also will be playing Crystal Palace and some other interesting fixtures. Leeds will be up against Nottingham Forest. A lot of interesting fixtures on Saturday. We can't leave the show without talking about Anthony Joshua. Eddie N has come out to say Anthony Joshua is going to fight on April the 1st at the O2 Arena, and he's had to defend you know, he has to answer a lot of questions. A lot of people are saying Anthony Joshua is finished, a lot of questions. But my worry, I don't know if you share that, it looks like he might be up against Jermaine Franklin, who narrowly lost to
Dillian White.
Dillian White. And a lot of people are saying, probably should have picked somebody soft. I don't know. I don't know, maybe it's Nigerian in me speaking, but in a few seconds, your thoughts on the likely approach to AJ's comeback.
I think he needs to come back and prove that he's still got it in him. He's just 33, and I've seen AJ train. I've watched AJ fight. He's got some quality, and he can use this fight against Jermaine Franklin to actually bounce back. And when he does, he just needs to find a way to be ferocious. He needs to be fierce and keep his momentum going so he can stay relevant in the heavyweight division. That's where
good place to land it.
Now in London. To
go.
Yeah, in London, I'm Austin Okonapan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right. I know Shegun would have loved to say something about Anthony Joshua, but you tell me when we leave the studio. But thank you for coming. Really appreciate that.
Thank you very much for hosting me, man. I hope to see us back next week at God's Race. All right. And stay safe.
All right. That's the show today. We do hope you enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you today. We'll be back again next week. Enjoy your weekend. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.